Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Software Engineer K here, and today we are going to be going through a big topic. It's a topic I've been asked to cover, and it is my thoughts on the whole VeVe versus OMI concept. So what is better to go for? What would I go for? I'm going to be breaking it down for you guys fully, and probably by the end of this video you guys should have left with a much better understanding of how to approach the situation. As well as that, I'm going to be going through what's been happening with the OMI market as well, and my thoughts moving forward with the upcoming drop. So first off, OMI versus VeVe. Now, I'm going to go back to a very good case study. It's about 6 months old. And there was a YouTuber who kind of came out of nowhere. He had like a couple thousand subs, and he basically tried to justify an OMI burn model. He basically tried to say that, we're going to burn pretty much none of the supply across 3 years based off of his experience as, an analyst. And basically his model was wrong from day one. It's still wrong, and it will continue to be wrong, and he hasn't posted an update because for whatever reason he just hasn't. But this video did get about 44,000 views, which is quite a lot for an OMI video. And from day one, I'd always been saying that no one can model the OMI burn rate correctly because they don't know what's going to continue to contribute to the burn. I said 6 months ago, probably longer than that, but let's just say 6 months, because this video was posted about nearly 6 months ago, that we can't model the burn rate because there are going to be licensors that come in with more percent fees, which is going to be more OMI burnt. That's exactly what happened with Marvel. And James Bond as well, and a few others. I also said that we're going to get bonus OMI burn events, which is what Reese spoke about in the Taps Trade interview, I think like 7-8 months ago. We haven't seen that yet, but I believe that will come later. I also spoke about buying NFTs using OMI. That has now been revealed with the OMI Utility program. I also spoke about the VeVeVerse stuff, how OMI is going to be burning in that based on gamification, which Dan Crover's confirmed about 3-4 months ago, based off of a kind of live AMA he did on some other web podcast thing, and then there was loads of others. And I said, back when there was no marketplace, people were modeling OMI burn based off of just the primary market fee. That's all they had to go off of. And then VeVe introduced the secondary market with the secondary market burn. All of that contributed to more OMI burn, and then we started getting into the buybacks, and obviously the buybacks have been paused, I believe, potentially because of some kind of a regulatory compliance issue, which I believe they're going to resolve once they've gone through the correct whatever it is they need to do. But all of these different ways of burning OMI, this guy never really took that into consideration and just came up with some random model which didn't really burn much OMI and would kind of put people off, especially 44,000 people saw it. Now, what am I trying to say is he kind of advised people to go all in on the VeVe collectibles rather than going in on OMI, and I believe that is also not the right approach. Later on, VeVe unveiled, or Ecomi unveiled, the OMI Utility program, and there's a lot of stuff in here that will be developed. This is version 1. We're going to have version 2, which makes even more use of OMI, just like we saw version 2 of Master Collector program, where they integrated more of the comic book side. So with the collectible side, I would also not advise people personally to go all in on collectibles. I would advise them not to go all in on OMI and sell all their collectibles, and this is a reason why, right? So myself, just for pure transparency, I own about 56 collectible sets now, but I also have 20 million OMI, so I'm kind of diversified between both of them. There's a very good reason why, and I've explained this in a previous video, but I'll touch on it again. But basically, we had the Golden Lucky Rabbit Drop airdrop, and this was for people who held all 3 Ron English sets. Now, we don't know exactly what other criteria there was that was used, because some people had kind of, based off of the Discord announcement that Ron English made, had gone and bought the 3 sets, and a lot of them didn't get it. Myself, just because I am a collector, I bought all 3 sets on the day, not because I anticipated this secret rabbit drop, but I just try and collect sets. I wouldn't have 56 sets otherwise. But when Ron English did drop it, I was actually going to delay purchasing the set free set, but as soon as I saw that, I just went and bought the remaining ones straight away, because initially I was going to wait for the price to go down the week after, but I was like, okay, it's worth risk taking, and I'm glad I took that risk because I got the Golden Rabbit. I sold it on the day for 6k. Keep in mind that crypto was going down during this period, which was only yesterday, and then I bought it back for, you guys can kind of see, paid 3k for it. So I sold it for 6k, bought it back for 3k. So that's 3k gems profit. Now since then, I actually sold it again for 4.2k, and then I bought it back for 3.1k. So that's another 1k on top of the 3k gems I made. So, 4k gems in about 1 day. Plus I got a golden rabbit to keep. That's pretty good. So what I'm trying to say is, if you were to sell all your collectibles for all OMI, you then risk this, missing out on these airdrops, because VeVe, we know that, ages ago, back when they were talking about utility, they said collectors of certain sets, they may receive certain rewards. And this was the first time we saw something like this happening. People who owned all 3 Raw Ninja sets received a reward. Now, we don't know what other criteria they may have. They may say people who purchased the sets within 48 hours of the day it dropped, rather than, people who purchased sets on the day they announce it, because then they know, people are only purchasing it to get this airdrop. We don't know which approach VeVe's taken, but it seems like they may not have announced, the full criteria to receive it. So if hypothetically you were to sell all your collectibles, you are going to miss out on these airdrops, and VeVe can control, when these airdrops happen. And this goes back to my other point is, as many people know, I am an Axie breeder. I've got pages and pages of Axie incubation happening. This is kind of like one of the things that I don't talk about too much, but for me it's been extremely lucrative. And I'd say percent-wise, Axies has done way better for me than OMI anyway. But just sticking on the point of OMI is, I've said before in the past that crypto, there is no barrier for entry to getting into crypto. There's no, imagine if people had no barrier of entry to driving a car, right? You didn't have to do a driver test, you didn't have to get a license. There'd be mayhem on the roads. Just like crypto, there's no barrier of entry to crypto. Anyone can walk in and start talking about it, or anyone can walk in and start investing in it. And because of that, you're going to get a lot of emotional investors, you're going to get a lot of uninformed investors, first-time investors. But similarly, people who kind of talk about, crypto, you're going to get a lot of people who have kind of just entered the space very recently and start, giving out advice on, what to do. And that's where you need to be very, very careful, because a lot of people who only kind of invest in one project, or, like a very small handful of projects, those are the type of people that you need to be very kind of take what they say with a pinch of salt. And just going to another analogy is, back in 2016, I was heavily involved in XRP. I was part of the XRP community, and I saw it through from 2017 to, when XRP peaked to it was nearly $5, and then it just came crashing down. And I was in those communities, and the people in those communities were just ridiculously convicted. They were trying to say, XRP is going to become the reserve currency of the world. It's going to be, $1,000 a token. And they still believe it to this day. And because of how heavily convicted they were in this one project, they missed out all of the developments happening in different niches. Blockchain-based gaming emerged, NFTs emerged, various different types of, validation models, proof of stake, proof of, whatever, all of this stuff emerged. And they kind of missed out on it because they were so heavily emotionally invested in this one project. They refused to look at other ones, or, they refused to kind of divest their time into other projects as well. And what I'm trying to say is, the reason why I said not to go all in on, or why I wouldn't go all in on OMI and, or go all in on the collectibles, is because I understand a lot of different projects based off of, I am involved in other projects, and some people really don't like hearing me when I say that. They're like, they only want me to cover OMI, but, unfortunately I am involved in other projects. Axie Infinity is one of them. I understand the Axie model quite well, and from that understanding is why I knew something like this with collectibles would happen, is because the company behind Axie Infinity, when they saw, the AXS token price was getting too high, they manually kind of, revealed some new functionality with AXS. They changed the amount of AXS tokens you needed to breed. When AXS price went too low, that's when they kind of announced their whole staking model. So I think it's really, really important to remember that it's not the best decision right now, in my opinion, to kind of go all in on either OMI or go all in on the collectibles, just because you don't know what VeVe can do. They may announce, for next month, they're going to do airdrops every single day for people who hold, various different sets. They can do that. Just the same way as the company behind Axies announced they were chopping the amount of tokens you needed to breed in half, and that just caused all sorts of turmoil. So you need to kind of take that and manage your risk using that information. And people who are in other projects, they'll know that this kind of stuff is a possibility. So it's always important to remember that if there is someone out there who is like, you know, only involved in OMI or only involved in OMI in a couple of other projects, like just remember, because of that, they may not be aware of all the other potential mechanics and, you know, other underlying tech that other projects are using, and they're going to be basing their understanding based off of only what they are aware of. And the same goes to me, you know, I'm in other projects, but I'm not in every single project just because that's not humanly possible. So, you know, just be aware that, you know, the VeVe collectible market is heavily driven by retail investors. The crypto market is heavily driven by institutional investors. And, you know, that's going to go on to my other point. But just on the point of retail investors, we do have the upcoming drop that is going to be coming in the next hour or so. So, FA Wonder Woman is confirmed. I did actually ask about this because we have seen another version of Wonder Woman by DC, but it's like a comic cover on a floppy disk kind of thing. So, you know, I was like, oh, I don't know, I don't know if that counts. And it looks like, you know, VeVe's like, you know what, we're the first appearance of Wonder Woman, so, you know, that's fine. You know, we've already had Batgirl and Supergirl, so they're not first appearance. And then we've got first appearance of Hawkgirl. So the numbers are kind of similar to what we saw with the Marvel Mighties, with the Eternals in terms of the like ultra rare. I think they had like 388 as well. I believe that's how much they had. So we may see kind of similar-ish price points to those. I quite like the Wonder Woman. It's 10,000 editions, but it's an FA. So, you know, this is one where if people are selling it below retail, I probably will actually buy a few of these. And, you know, myself, I will aim to collect the full set. Hopefully I can get, you know, something on the drop, but we'll just have to wait and see. So the other point I just wanted to go on is just the price of OMI for today. So this goes to the point of where I said, you know, the crypto market is heavily driven by institutional investors. There was some big institutions that just moved huge volumes of Bitcoin to exchanges, and here we go. We went from 0.65 all the way down to 0.5. And you know what's nice is we drew this support line, you know, a while ago, and even with the institutional, you know, sell-off, we saw this support holding really, really well. So again, I was confident that when I saw this bounce back, back at 0.5, that this was a good support. And with this institutional sell-off, we still held this support point. So now I'm even more confident that this support is respected. But we are overall still in a kind of downward channel. Can we break out? Well, we need to break out from this kind of 0.67 region and hold above 0.73. If we can hold above 0.73, what I believe we could see is kind of a sort of, let's see, I will use green. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So what we could see is kind of like a break, a retest, and then a continuation to the upside. And what I'm hoping for is we can hopefully kind of retest this ascending trend line. And if we do, that's going to be above the 1 cent mark for sure. That's what I'm hoping for. That would be pretty cool to see. But again, you know, like I said earlier, I hold both the VeVe collectible sets and OMI. I personally don't think it's, in my opinion, a good idea to go all in on one or the other. But if that's what you choose to do, then, you know, good luck. But yeah, that's pretty much everything I want to go through with you guys today. We do have the quiz coming up on the 16th of December, the community quiz. So we're going to have Reese co-hosting with us. We're going to have some prizes with the Comey given away. I believe Reverend Alex is up for doing that as well, based off some Twitter Spaces chats. And yeah, there is also a cool treasure hunt going on with New to Crypto. So do watch out for the clues on that. That is pretty cool. You know, maybe there's a clue somewhere in this video. Who knows? But yeah, do like and subscribe to support the content. I'll keep you guys updated with anything else I find out. And I'll see you guys in the next video. See ya.